Is Chrissy Ross, and the first part of this project was the interview process. Every person that I interviewed has given me consent to share their answers with the instructor and with the class. In return, I do have to email them this video of the project. So to start off, I want to explain the questions that I had asked my interviewees. The first one was, what does it mean to you to be an American? The second one, what is a symbolic representation of America? The third question I asked was, what is your perspective on America's morals? And then the last question, number 4, was, how has American culture changed through our generations? Each person has given me an array of answers. So here it goes. Okay, so can I ask your name?
Absolutely. My name is Steve Case.
Okay, and the first question I'm going to ask you is, what does it mean to you to be an American?
What it means to me to be an American is always being willing to help those in need, help others that are close to you, that aren't close to you, just being available, just generally being a good person when someone needs assistance in anything, whether it's just a question or help unloading, opening a door, things like that, little things, just being helpful, I guess.
Great. And what is a symbolic representation that you think is of America?
Wow. That's a really good question. I mean, obviously the flag. I have military in my family that are very, very proud of what they've accomplished. My stepdad served in Vietnam, and my cousin was in the SEALs. Right before everything, when things started happening overseas, I guess is when his tour ended. So they're very proud. The flag is a phenomenal representation, and you wish it was always the case, but the people, people here in general, I think, are good people. Sometimes it just, the loudest 1% are the ones you hear about, I guess.
That's true. Great answer. And what is your perspective on America's morals?
Morals?
Yes.
I don't like speaking for other people, but my morals are, like I said in my first answer, I guess, just helping others. Being willing and able to help for the betterment of humankind. I guess little things, helping when people are needed, being there for advice, being there for guidance, being able to trust others to afford you the same thing. I think that's something that might be lost on a lot of people, but just always looking for good in everything, because there's plenty of other stuff. So
Okay. And one last question I have: how has American culture changed through generations, in your perspective?
Oh God. I'm sitting here on a laptop with my cell phone, and you're filming me on your cell phone. Technology's huge. I think all of the advances in technology are probably some of the biggest changes when it comes to communication, news outlets, everybody having a voice, for better or worse, depending on how you look at it. I think that's probably the biggest change of my lifetime, is just the advances in technology and the importance of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Okay, we're here with Judson. And what does being an American mean to you?
Being free and having the ability to make your own choices rather than the government making them for you.
So what is like your expression of freedom?
Just not being fully under control by the government, and just I how having freedom to make your own
like
choices,
constitutional rights maybe, or
yeah, just I don't know what to say for.
okay. And then what is a symbolic representation of America in your eyes?
Symbolic representation, American Eagle, and then
That's a great one.
and then the flag itself.
Okay, those are great. And what's your perspective on America's morals?
I don't know what to say. Is it moral?
Or values, or, you know, some people were brought up that certain things are right and certain things are wrong. Do you think that America has any bad morals or good morals?
I'm trying to think of, I don't know what to say. Like, I haven't had morals. I guess just we think we control
Yeah,
everything.
that's a good
We
one.
have a big advantage over the whole world. We do, but like at the same time, it doesn't not good representation for that. Thinking we control everything.
Okay. And how do you think that America has changed throughout generations?
It's changed a lot through technology and just society itself. Back back a couple of generations, it's just a different world into what you can and can't do, and just evolutions of everything, just about.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I guess.
Okay, so we're here with Mystique, and I'm asking her, what does it mean to you to be an American?
To be an American to me means that we stand up for what you believe in and you do what you feel is right, even though it could be wrong.
Okay. And what do you feel a symbolic representation is of America?
I think a symbolic thing of America, I guess, would be like a melting pot, because there's so many different kinds of cultures and things that come together to make America America.
Oh, very good. And what's your perspective on America's morals?
I think our morals are kind of going downhill a bit, because if people don't agree on something that they think is wrong, then they set out to destroy it, even though it's a part of our history. So our morals aren't very good on trying to keep history our history. They want to erase it.
Good job. And how has American culture changed throughout the generations in your eyes?
It's gotten better and it's gotten worse, because different cultures have come and they've gone, and if cultures aren't accepted, then they get wiped out eventually. So other cultures can come into play.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, so I'm here with Vika, and what does it mean to you to be an American?
I feel like American people have a lot of rights, and it's kind of nice because, I mean, we do have rights in my country. I'm from Mongolia, but like I feel like America is like they're more into their citizen, where giving a lot of rights, and it's kind of nice. And also, like, you know, as a students, America give like a lot of financial aids to their students, and they kind of care about them. Where, I mean, some cases they don't, but mostly they do a good job. And also think America is a melting pot where all nations kind of like merge together. It's kind of nice. They share their culture and learn from others, like, you know, other foods and like events and stuff. So I feel like that's kind of cool.
Okay. So, what is a symbolic representation of America?
I feel like a lot of people like can tell, oh, it's America. It's like the American flag is really, really strong, and just like people yelling at USA, that's like really strong thing. Like in like Olympics, like people say USA, and then we're like, oh, these guys are super cool, you know. And then also like I think NBA really represent America really well because it's like world known. Everybody like basketball, and you know everybody think basketball in America, you know, because NBA and NASA, for example, like you know, the NASA is like the biggest space organization that is in America, and people like to see stuff that is not, we can't see it in ourselves. I think NASA did a really good job where other countries really doesn't share much of their information, what they found.
Okay.
And one of the things that are really represents American education. I mean, there's always down parts, but America has really good schools like Harvard and Stanford, MIT, like they're top schools in the world, and they do a good job, and I would like to go there too. And as far as like sports goes, football, American football, everybody talks about it. You know, they shouldn't be called football, but yeah. And Ford, for example, cars, you know, Mustang, Chevrolet, all these bumblebees, you know. All right.
Okay. So, what's your perspective on America's morals?
I feel like America, you know, America is a Christian country. There's a lot of Christianity, which makes it very strong because every law is related to like some kind of Bible-based, which is kind of awesome because it kind of helps the people, like I guess, shape their identity.
Okay.
And then, like, I feel like a lot of American people are pretty generous. I mean, it's really personal, but because I feel like they're more Christian based, it's they see things like more positive way than others, I should say. And you know, morals. You know, there's a lot of social media and stuff. Like racism is a big thing in America, and a lot of people seem to like really get deep into racism, especially all elderly people, like elderly white people, I should say, and then black people too. I mean, it's both sides. It's not just one side. And then social media plays really big in America, like NBC, ABCA, you know, all this big social media, and even Twitter and Facebook and stuff. So I don't know. I think that's it.
Okay. So, how do you think America's culture has changed in our generations?
I feel like, you know, according to the history, like America started adopting a lot of different cultures, and I think it really made a change how America become one of the greatest nations in the world, because they started adopting a lot of different cultures and combine it and make it stronger, like Microsoft and Google, and they have all these workers that are like, you know, all over the world, and then and they have these ideas that are just best, you know, best out of best. I think that makes it America's like really strong, and future generation, like, I mean, the technology's really changed, I think, especially in America, like, because a lot of countries, like, they don't have like good internet connection or Wi-Fi, where America has, like, you know, I mean, there are parts that don't have anything. Like major cities, they're like really like internet free, where people like contact each other really quickly.
Yes.
And also like services, like American companies really support their like customers. They value their customer a lot more than other countries, I feel like. So it makes the customer more engaged to their companies and stuff. So I like that.
Okay.
I think that's like part of the generation like we are in, and I don't know, like I feel like I kind of like afraid like young adults, like since they're growing up, they grow with technology, and I don't know what that's gonna lead in the future.
Right, right. Okay, well, thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, we're here with Larry, and I'm asking you, what does it mean to you to be an American?
What does it mean to me to be an American? Well, to me, America has given me the opportunity to, have a good life, get a good education, raise a family, given me a lot of opportunities, given me a good retirement. Probably one of the best places in the world to live, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. And what is a symbolic representation of America?
I guess being former military, I consider it to be the land of the free and home of the brave. It's a lot of people out there working every day to make sure that everybody has a good way of life and lives good and safe.
Okay. What is your perspective on America's morals?
I believe that morality in America is falling behind, losing. I think the younger generation today has a total lack of respect for the older generation, and it's how people are being raised today. I think there's too many policies or rules or regulations that not only at government, state levels, that don't give parents the rights to raise their children appropriately and discipline them when they're not acting in an appropriate manner. So that's why I say the lack of respect for young people when dealing with older people.
Okay. And how has American culture changed through our generations in your eyes?
Well, again, culture-wise is when I was young, of course, we sat down for the family meals. That's where we had our conversations, talked about our days. Today, it just seems that people don't take that time to spend that time with their family. Everything is cell phone oriented. You go someplace and to a restaurant, you sit and watch families, and usually the kids and or the parents are on their cell phones instead of taking time to relate to each other and talk.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
I'm back after those interviews, and I have to say they were quite interesting. I really enjoyed interviewing each person. I think that the interview did shed a lot of light per generation and per culture of each interviewee. Most of the answers were pretty similar. I was expecting that. When I had asked them what it meant to be an American, I think freedom was a huge answer. A lot of people use freedom as a different tool, and whether it be protesting or not being under control of a government, I think that those were all answered very well. When I had asked about a symbolic representation, most everybody gave me a symbol, whether it be a flag or the eagle, or Wika was amazing. He had so many with the shouting of the USA and NASA, things that I don't think we really consider as Americans because we're here living it all the time. I do, however, think we need to spend more time with our younger generation teaching the American history so that they're understanding a symbolic representation. Larry's stood out to me the most with his military background. I really did enjoy interviewing him. He thinks that using the symbolic representation of the words that represent America, that was huge in my eyes. Nobody else had that kind of symbolic representation other than him. and it could just be the generation also. All of the morals seem to be sloping downward. I think everybody was all in agreement with that. I do see that also. I mean, I have small children, so generations that were prior, 100% the respect issue. I think our freedoms there have gotten a little bit out of control to where we're teaching our children just to say whatever they want to say and not respect the other generations or respect your elders. And with the change in the generations, everybody was pretty straight on with the technology. That has changed so much. And the change in the future is just going to be even greater with what that is going to bring with us. I do think that everything everybody said was expected. The only person that I think may have said things that I was not expecting was Wika. With not being a citizen and studying abroad and looking at the United States from the outside, I think that he had more knowledge on things that maybe we take for granted as Americans. Being confused, I really don't think anybody was confused by the questions that I had asked in the interviews. However, I do feel maybe they weren't prepared, or this is something nobody's really ever been asked before. So taking a moment and stepping back and really trying to think about what it means to them to be an American was huge. And the younger generation, I'd have to say Judson was a little more confused by the question, and that took a little bit longer. Even with me trying to pry and give him some ideas, I didn't get a whole lot out of him. With only being 18, that's where our history needs to come back in and start teaching these younger kids that we are Americans and that history needs to be brought to their attention. One other question. So you're asking me what it means to be an American. That's the last part of this whole project. And after interviewing everybody else, and this was a question I had to answer myself. So being an American to me is the freedom. I believe that 100%. There are people that fought for our freedom and the right for us to be the way that we are today. We have the Bill of Rights, we have our Constitution, and I do feel that our freedom is being a little over-exaggerated. We still need to keep in mind the feelings that other people have and not just blurt things out. And I think that's getting a little bit out of control on social media and in the news media. So they're just saying basically whatever they want to say, and they don't care about other people's feelings. And that's still not right. That's where morals come into effect, and we need to start teaching our younger children that so they can carry that through. So that is the end of this project. Thank you.